Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. Adam Azim advances to 12-0 with an 8th round TKO victory over his old friend and gym buddy, Ohara Davies. Let's talk about it. Now, going into this fight, what are the things that we knew? Well, we knew that Azim was 10 years younger than Ohara Davies. We knew that he was much bigger, faster, way more athletically gifted, better coordination, better foot speed and hand speed, better balance. We also knew that Ohara Davies was coming off a first round KO defeat to a 40-year-old Ishmael Barroso. We also knew that this fight was going to be on a boxer card and that Adam Azim is promoted by boxer. Ohara Davies isn't. So most of the advantages going in were for Adam Azim. This was his fight to lose rather than Davis's fight to win. Azim was supposed to win here. The only unknowns really were with regards to Adam Azim's chin, because he'd never before been in with a puncher. Ohara Davies is a puncher. And so the question was, what happens if he can land that big right hand on Adam Azim's jaw? Will he be able to take it? Well, that question wasn't answered in this fight. Adam Azim was so much faster than Davies, and his attacks were so frequent that Davies was never able to actually time a big right hand at any point in the fight. There was a couple times where he maybe just grazed Adam Azim with it, but he never landed with any great impact. So that question regarding Azim's chin, as I say, still remains unanswered. What I will say though is Azim, who is often compared to Amir Khan because they're both obviously British Pakistanis, and Azim grew up idolizing Amir Khan in a boxing sense, Azim hasn't shown the punch resistance vulnerabilities that Amir Khan had already shown at the same stage of his career. Remember, Amir Khan was being hurt and dropped by non-punchers like Willie Limond. Adam Azim has been in with a bunch of non-punchers. None of them have hurt him. None of them have dropped him. And certainly Ohara Davies, who is a puncher, didn't drop him either. Although, as I say, Ohara Davies never landed a flush, full force right hand on Adam Azim. He landed a few decent left hooks, but Ohara's never really been a big left hooker. His left hook is not his primary power shot. So anyway, my point is, if Adam Azim does have any issue with his chin, and I'm not saying that he does, again, for me, it's still an open question, but from what we've seen so far, if there is an issue, it's not as severe as the issue that Amir Khan had. Now, one thing that we did find out from this fight is that Adam Azim can't punch like Ishmael Barroso. And to be clear on this, Ishmael Barroso is a very good puncher. Never mind the fact he looks 70 years old when he's only 40. I say only 40, he's an old man in boxing terms, but he looks even older facially. Never mind all that. The man can still seriously dig. And as we know, he took Ohara Davies out in one round. Adam Azim hit Ohara Davies with lots of clean power shots to the head, flush punches. He bloodied Ohara Davies' nose very badly, but at no point did he hurt him as severely as Ishmael Barroso did, despite catching him with more punches. So I'm going to come to the conclusion that he doesn't hit like Ishmael Barroso. Now, that's not necessarily a big issue. There have been plenty of other fighters over the years who don't hit as hard as Ishmael Barroso who have done very well in the sport. But again, we're just trying to get a gauge of Adam Azim's ability. How fast is he in relation to other fighters? How good is his chin in relation to other fighters? How good is his stamina, his ring IQ, and his punching power, etc. Now, I liked the fact that Azim didn't give Ohara Davies too much respect in there. He knew he was the bigger, younger, faster guy, and he fought that way. He fought a young man's fight, which is a high tempo fight. He knew that Davies would need the pace to slow down in order to have any success. So Azim kept the pace high. He was using his very good hand speed to lead off, throw combinations, mix it up to head and body, and he showed improvement in his own defense. His upper body movement meant that Ohara Davies was missing time and time again when he did try to throw back. Could not get the right hand off at all. That's why he had to resort to throwing left hooks more. So Azim pressed the action, kept the pace high, and as Ohara Davies started to weaken, Adam Azim switched his attack, not just to the body, but also to the inside. And I thought that showed some good intelligence, because if you're in there with a guy who can really punch with the right hand, and you're the taller, faster fighter, you don't necessarily want to be swapping shots with him on the inside when he's fresh. But as he starts to break down and you feel like he's sufficiently weak enough, then you can start working on other aspects of your game. Maybe stuff you've been practicing in the gym, you can start doing it in the fight. And that's what Adam Azim did here with his inside work. I think it might have been around round 6 round 7, started mixing it up on the inside. I like to see that kind of versatility in a fight where he was fully in control. He had Ohara Davies completely timed. He could read all his moves. Some people might say it was an unnecessary risk to take because he didn't need to take it. And I don't disagree with that view. I'm just saying that I've never seen Adam Azim fight on the inside before. The fact that he did in this fight allowed me to tick another box off for him. Okay, he can actually shorten his punches, roll with shots up close and come back with his own. I'm not saying it'll be a good idea or appropriate to do that against every opponent, but now I know that he has some type of inside fighting ability in the locker. He dropped Davis with a left hook to the body in the 5th and a left hook to the head in the 8th. On both occasions, Ohara Davies voluntarily went down on one knee. So it's not like he was flattened or anything, but he voluntarily went down on one knee. And I think on both occasions, his busted nose had a lot to do with it. He looked to be in a lot of discomfort. There was a lot of blood coming from it, and he seemed distressed. It was similar to the Josh Taylor fight, actually, because he had a busted nose in that fight, and he spoke afterwards about how uncomfortable he was with it and how unnerved he was by that injury. He said it was very painful and he couldn't breathe out of both nostrils. Now, some people might scoff at that and say a bloody nose is nothing. Fighters have those all the time and it doesn't really bother them that much. Well, be that as it may, it bothers Ohara Davies. Different fighters have got a different tolerance for these sort of things. But yeah, I think the bloody nose, which might have been caused by an Adam Azim uppercut, contributed to Ohara Davies taking a knee for those 2 knockdowns. When he got hit with a left hook to the body, again, you're trying to inhale after getting hit with a good body shot like that. And it's more difficult when your nose is blocked with your own blood, when you're swallowing your own blood. And then the left hook in the 8th rattled Ohara Davies's head. You could see him grimace after it landed. So what I'm trying to say here is he went down, at least in part, from discomfort rather than from being seriously concussed by that left hook. Nevertheless, it was a good performance by Adam Azim. I liked the aggression. I liked the fact that he showed us a few different aspects of his game. I liked the fact he didn't show Davis too much respect. But at the same time, it's kind of what we expected. We didn't really learn anything new from this fight, or at least we didn't learn much, right? We learned he's got some sort of inside game and that he maybe doesn't hit as hard as someone like Ismael Barroso, but the question about his chin is still unanswered. Anyway, he's now 12-0, onwards and upwards for him. You can see the potential for Azim to be a very popular fighter. If Ben Shalom moves him in the right way, I think it could really pay dividends for his business. And Azim might be exactly what UK boxing needs off the back of AJ, Tyson Fury, etc. We've already had Kell Brook and obviously Amir Khan a few years ago retiring. There needs to be a next generation that can carry the torch and keep the UK public engaged. Adam Azim might be one of those guys, along with the Moses Ataumas of the world, Daniel Dubois, Dalton Smith potentially, we'll talk about him in a second, Hamza Shiraz up at middleweight, and 1 or 2 more. Now the Dalton Smith thing, Azim and his team were not confident enough to take the Dalton Smith fight. Was it earlier this year? But the more performances he puts in, like the one he put in against Ohara Davies, the more confident they're going to get. And it's going to reach a point where they might say to themselves, you know what? We'll take the Dalton Smith fight now. And just to clarify my position on Dalton Smith, I don't think Dalton Smith is anything really special. I think he's a solid fighter, but I don't see any like outstanding talent. And so when Adam Azim swerved Dalton Smith, I was a little concerned because I'm thinking, it's not like Smith is some beast, but yet you've swerved him. What is it that Azim and his team are concerned about exactly? Has Azim not got a chin? Is there some type of weakness that they're trying to hide? I don't know. But subsequent to stopping Ohara Davies, Azim has been a lot more positive about fighting Dalton Smith. Hopefully that fight can be revived and can happen sooner rather than later. I'd love to see it. Some people might argue that no, they should both win world titles first and then meet each other as champions. Well, who's to say either one of them will actually become a champion anytime soon? In case you hadn't noticed, 140 pounds is absolutely stacked with talent. Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Isaac Cruz, Ryan Garcia when he comes back, Richardson Hitchens, Jack Cattrall, Arnold Barboza, etc., etc. So this is no cakewalk for anyone. Personally, I'd prefer to see Adam Azim and Dalton Smith fight each other now. That's speaking from the perspective of a boxing fan. Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley fought each other. Didn't turn out well for the boxer fighter, and maybe for that reason, at least in part, Ben Shalom will continue to keep Adam Azim away from Dalton Smith. We shall see, but let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below about Azim's performance against Davis. Again, overall, I think it was a good performance, but it was nothing unexpected. Davis had a puncher's chance going in, that's about it, and he simply was unable to land a big punch. I'll leave it there. Make sure you put a like on the video, share it as well, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.